What if the ninth house is not only a house of belief, dharma, teachers, and direction, but also one of the most important houses for understanding how a person moves forward, both in the body and in life? Because that is the deeper secret here. The ninth house governs the hips, thighs, tailbone area, sacral region, sciatic nerves, and pituitary-linked hormonal functions. So this house is not abstract. It is not only philosophical. It is profoundly embodied. It shows how movement becomes direction, how propulsion becomes purpose, and how the body's forward drive mirrors the life's forward drive. And once you understand that, the whole dosha framework becomes incredibly elegant, because the ninth house is in many ways an axis of propulsion. It moves the body forward through the hips and thighs. It carries nerve force through the sciatic channel. It stabilizes movement through the sacral base, and it moves life forward through belief, meaning, and direction. So when dosha imbalance enters the ninth house, it does not just create isolated symptoms. It disturbs propulsion itself. That is the master idea. Now let us take the full comparative view. Vata in the ninth house. When Vata rises here, the problem is instability. Vata is dry, light, cold, irregular, and mobile. So, in the ninth house, Vata tends to create dryness, instability, cracking, shooting pain, tingling, irregular nerve conduction, anxiety about purpose, and hormonal irregularity. The body loses smoothness, the nerves lose steadiness, and the psyche loses confidence in long-range direction. So Vata disturbs propulsion through instability. The hips may feel unsupported. The sciatic channel may become erratic. Movement may become uncertain, and inwardly the person may feel restless, anxious, ungrounded, or unsure of where life is going. Vata says, I want to move, but I cannot stabilize. Pitta in the ninth house. When Pitta rises here, the problem is inflammation. Pitta is hot, sharp, penetrating, and inflammatory. So in the ninth house, Pitta tends to create heat in the hips and sacral region, inflamed sciatic pain, sharp burning nerve irritation, ideological rigidity, intense conviction, and overstimulated hormonal rhythm. The body moves, but with heat and irritation. The mind believes, but with pressure and sharpness. The life direction becomes driven, forceful, and overheated. So Pitta disturbs propulsion through inflammation. The hips may burn, the nerve field may become hypersensitive, direction may become aggressive, and the person may confuse intensity with alignment. Pitta says, I can move, but I cannot cool down. Kapha in the ninth house. When Kapha rises here, the problem is stagnation. Kapha is heavy, slow, moist, cold, and cohesive. So in the ninth house, Kapha tends to create heavy hips, stiff thighs, dull nerve conduction, slow movement, attachment to fixed philosophy, resistant worldview, and sluggish hormonal rhythm. The body does not lose movement through instability or pain first. It loses movement through density, resistance, and slowed mobilization. So Kapha disturbs propulsion through stagnation. The hips become heavy, the nerves become dull, the worldview becomes attached, and the whole system starts conserving instead of mobilizing. Kapha says, I can hold, but I do not want to move. Now this is where the deeper insight becomes very powerful for healers and astrology students. The ninth house links structure, nerve conduction, belief, and endocrine rhythm in one unified field. That means imbalance here rarely stays in only one layer. It tends to affect several layers at once: movement, stability, purpose, and hormonal tone. That is why the ninth house is so valuable diagnostically. If the hips and thighs are compromised, look at how the person is moving forward physically. If the sciatic pattern is disturbed, look at how propulsion is being conducted. If belief becomes anxious, rigid, or resistant, look at how direction is being held psychologically. If endocrine rhythm is irregular, driven, or sluggish, look at how the person's deeper timing mechanism is functioning. This is not scattered symbolism. This is one coherent axis. And that is why I would summarize the three doshas like this. Vata disturbs the ninth house through instability. Pitta disturbs the ninth house through inflammation. Kapha disturbs the ninth house through stagnation. That one framework can help you organize almost everything. If the person has cracking, shooting pain, tingling, anxiety, and irregular rhythm, think Vata. If they have burning, sharp pain, ideological heat, and overstimulated drive, think Pitta. If they have heaviness, dullness, stiffness, fixed thinking, and sluggish rhythm, think Kapha. Now let me take you to the deepest layer of all. The ninth house is not merely a body zone, it is the house of forward meaning. So when dosha imbalance affects the ninth house, the body and the life path begin speaking the same language. With Vata, movement becomes unstable and purpose becomes anxious. With Pitta, movement becomes inflamed and purpose becomes forceful. With Kapha, movement becomes heavy and purpose becomes fixed. That is the real brilliance of this house. The hips and thighs move the body forward. Belief and direction move the life forward. And the doshas tell you how that forward movement is being disturbed. So if you are a healer, do not look only at the symptoms. Ask, how is forward movement being blocked? If you are an astrology student, do not stop at keywords. Ask, is the person's propulsion disturbed through instability, inflammation, or stagnation? That is the level of reading that makes this work serious. Because once you see the ninth house clearly, you realize it is not just about fortune. It is about the mechanics of moving ahead. And that means the deeper sequence is this. Movement leads to stability. Stability supports purpose. Purpose shapes endocrine rhythm, and endocrine rhythm feeds back into movement again. So when the ninth house goes out of balance, the whole loop can be affected. That is why this house deserves much more respect in health analysis than it usually gets. The final teaching is simple. Vata says the path is unstable. Pitta says the path is overheated. Kapha says the path is stuck. And the body tells the truth before the mind can always explain it. That is the real ninth house lesson. If this kind of deep Jyotish Ayurveda analysis helps you see charts more clearly, subscribe and stay with this series, because this is exactly the level of pattern recognition healers and astrology students need to develop. And if you want a personal reading on your own chart for health patterns, soul path, relationship dynamics, or life direction, you can book a consultation through astrovagmi.com. I will see you in the next one.